The technology patterns emerging today will define the business landscape of tomorrow. NTT DATA is identifying key trends and strategies to help organisations stay ahead in this ever-changing space. And joining me today is Tal Nathan, Vice President of Go-to-Market from the team at NTT. Can you give us an overview of the Tech Foresight report that you and the team put together? I understand you found some interesting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. The first thing I'd like to state is that this report is a really incredible piece of knowledge that I urge any one of your viewers to take a look at. The best way to predict the future is not to predict it, but rather to create it.
Nice.
And we live by that philosophy. NTT invests over $3.5 billion in research and development per annum. And we're working on really, really exciting things like quantum computing, cryptography, as you can imagine, artificial intelligence. So we marry all that knowledge of the things we're actually working on. We're not predicting what's going to be created, we're creating it ourselves. But then we match it with our services and consulting organizations. So we're practitioners at the same time. So you combine R&D with practitionership. And as a result of that, you get a report that is incredibly pragmatic and provides real insights and real strategies for organizations to take advantage of not only what's coming, but also what's happening today.
Very, very clever stuff. And of course, it's one thing to have the data, but another to actually action it as well proactively. It's such a cool thing to see that you don't always get. What are the 5 trends, though, that you wanted to outline today that will shape the future of business based on the work that you and the team are doing?
Yeah, great question, and thanks for asking. The report is broken down, as you've stated, into 5 key trends. The first trend is enhanced humans. We're really excited about that one. We are going to talk about a world where in the future, human capability is not bound by time, not bound by skill, not bound by knowledge. It means an absolute democratization of human capability in order to become more efficient and more productive by leveraging these technologies. So incredibly fantastic. I don't believe there's ever been such a transformative technology that allows every single individual to access that knowledge and capability. The second one that is somewhat related, but links more to the enterprise as opposed to the individual, is this notion of the cognitive cloud. We all know today what cloud is. Cloud, yes. That's the place where you store your data. It's the place where you store your apps. It's not a smart place, to be perfectly honest. It is a rules-based process. It is seen as a cost center for most organizations to keep the lights on.
Yes.
In the future, your cognitive cloud, the cloud is going to be the place where your organization makes decisions. It's going to be the place where your intellectual property lives, and it's going to be the place that runs your organization. It'll be like your factory, but your digital factory, the most important piece of infrastructure that you have today. So we're talking about techniques that organizations can put in place to prepare the cloud to scale for that explosive amount of data that's going to come through, the security requirements that are going to come through, and what are the things that you need to do to leverage to drive that across.
Absolutely awesome to think on. Do continue though with those other pillars.
Fantastic. The third one is the ambient intelligent experience.
Okay.
Let's be honest, how do you interact with technology today? You've got that laptop in front of you, you've got the mobile phone, you've got screens. It's pretty clunky. Imagine a future where technology interacts with you using your 5 senses. It's simply into the fabric of reality. It is integrated into the environment, and we call that the natural user interface. Gone are the days where you have to learn how to use a piece of technology. The technology needs to adapt to the way you want to run and operate it. Do you want to talk to it? Do you want to think of it within your mind? Should it simply predict what you want? We are going to find incredibly immersive and personalized ways for brands to engage with consumers, and also for different services like healthcare to be delivered in intuitive ways, which is going to be incredibly profound.
This is things like AR and VR, etc.
It's AR and VR. It's also sensing technology. It's also cognitive technology that can see, understand what you feel, understand how you're interacting, and automatically adapt to that in a personalized way.
Incredible.
Absolutely. The fourth one, incredibly important, and we all have to take this seriously as business leadership, it's digital sustainability.
Okay.
Organizations need to take stewardship of sustainability, but they're also recognizing that sustainability isn't just environmental sustainability, it's economic sustainability, it's social sustainability, it's sustainability across the supply chain. The requirements of sustainability are now so vast that artificial intelligence will now give you that visibility and ability to drive that through your entire value stream and ecosystem so that you can minimize impact, as well as have that visibility and decision making to allow you to do that effectively.
And it's become so expected by consumers in this day and age as well.
Absolutely. We need a healthy environment and a healthy society for commerce to continue to succeed. So it is actually a synergistic requirement if you think about it.
I believe we've got one more of these trends that you noticed.
We do have one more, and this is a really important one, and that is around security. Everyone talks about security and ethics with AI. It's almost like you're getting AI to talk about it. Let me put it in more practical and real terms. Imagine a world where healthcare, as an example, is no longer in a hospital. So imagine the hospital organization that is treating you at home through these sensors that we spoke about, through these interfaces, but it could be wearable devices, it could be implants, it could be other tools and mechanisms. Suddenly the volume of data that needs to be analyzed is astronomically increased. Suddenly the complexity, but also the integrity and the importance of that data not being compromised, because you are potentially monitoring a patient, as an example, in an acute care condition. So we call that the risk surface of an organization. And when you do that, the risk surface absolutely explodes, because suddenly so much more data, so many more devices outside of your network, outside of your infrastructure.
We saw that with remote work, etc.
Absolutely. The traditional way of cyber, of monitoring logs, identifying incidents, and then having people respond to them, it's just not going to cut it anymore. So this notion of cognitive AI-driven cyber that is automatically monitoring threats, communicating with your cognitive cloud, and automatically responding and reshaping itself based on real-time threats will be a critical pillar that organizations will need to undertake in order to effectively drive this transformation.
Absolutely, and a very good rundown from you. It's so many vast and sort of intellectual systems, complicated systems that you and the team are tackling and identifying. But what actionable strategies, if we can bring it down to earth for a moment, can Australian businesses do to navigate these challenges, these changes, this evolution that for some people, you know, you and I have a bit of knowledge about this stuff, but for some people out there, it is the great unknown.
I'm glad you asked. The report, by the way, it's over 250 pages, can go into it in far greater detail, and it does provide some of those practical steps. The first piece of advice I would tell your viewers is, don't try and predict whether this is the next greatest thing or not. It would be like you sitting in 1998 and saying, oh, the internet's just a fad, I'm not going to do anything about it, it's going to blow over. People did. They're probably not around. This isn't a fad and it's not going to blow over. The advancement of technology is an immutable fact that will continue to exist. Therefore, this wave is absolutely coming. So the first piece of advice is, do nothing is not an appropriate strategy. If you don't have the skills yourself to do something, get someone in to support you. But at the very least, you need to start looking at your organization holistically. You need to see what are the bottlenecks that exist within your organization. What are the customer experience touch points that are suboptimal? How is the maturity of your technology environment and the security environment? Because if you don't have the sufficient maturity to undertake these transformations, you will struggle. So it really is taking an honest look at your organization and understanding, where am I? Where do I aspire to go? And then putting a pragmatic plan to understand how you uplift your maturity to get to that point. And unfortunately, you have no choice. Just like in 1999, you had no choice to launch a website. Today in 2025, you have no choice about adopting AI.
Yeah, I think that's very well said by you. And curious to know, if people want to find out more about the report, perhaps connect with you and the team at NTT, where's the best place to go?
The best place is our website, nttdata.com. You can access the report free of charge. I urge anyone to download it. There's also an executive summary if 250 pages isn't enough, or run it through your favorite AI tool to summarize it for you. As well as LinkedIn. My name is Tal Nathan. Find me on LinkedIn. More than happy to connect and carry on the conversation.
Tal, it is an incredible time to be alive. I often say that we got everything we ever wanted in the 90s, in very real ways, I think, with technology. But I appreciate you coming down, bringing this to our attention, and hopefully we get to speak again as it unfurls before our eyes.
Sounds good. Would love to. Thanks so much.